Hey guys, this is BCR Productions, and today I'm going to be reviewing the top 10 roller coasters at HersheyPark in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So without further ado, let's go and get into the countdown. So at number 10, we're going to be having Wildcat. Now, this roller coaster is the first GCI roller coaster ever built, and it is not really a good start to GCI. It's very rough, and the layout looks pretty nice, but it's still a very rough roller coaster, and so I wasn't really able to enjoy this. So yeah, that's why it's only going to be getting a number 10 spot. Next, at the number 9 spot is going to be going to Super Duper Looper, the roller coaster with just one loop. Its ride isn't that thrilling, but if you've never rode a roller coaster with a loop before, this is definitely the coaster that you should ride. It's pretty smooth ride. It's actually a very smooth ride, and it's not really meant for thrills. It's kind of more of a family ride. But I remember riding this coaster, and I was very, I thought I was going to fall out because it had only, lap bars, and I thought if it would go upside down, you would have to have over-the-shoulder restraints. But now I know everything about G-forces and everything. But yeah, it's not a bad ride. It's definitely good if you never rode a looping roller coaster before. But, I mean, I can only give it such a good spot. And number 8 is going to be going to Sidewinder. The park is a Vekoma Boomerang. And now, this actually is one of the better boomerangs. Some of them have the really hard restraints, but these have the updated restraints, so they're actually a lot better. So this is not a bad ride. It's pretty fun. It has a good restraint, so you can actually enjoy the ride. But you know, it's a boomerang, so you can find it at a lot of different parks, so I can't really rank it that high. And number 7 is Laugh Track, the indoor family spinning coaster. Now, this coaster is actually pretty fun. I actually didn't really expect that much out of it, but it definitely exceeded my expectations. It doesn't spin that much, which is a little bit disappointing. It probably only makes like 2 or 3 full circuits in the entire ride. But being honest, it's definitely more than I actually expected. It has a decent speed. I'm not exactly sure how fast it goes, but I know it has a decent speed. It's like 40-some feet tall, but if it wasn't indoors, it would definitely not be very good. It has a nice theming, and it was very fun. I walked off with a smile, and it was a really fun ride. Now, I do want to warn you that some of the lines for this ride can get up to an hour and a half. So, yeah, if you're ever going to go on this ride, make sure to do that like the first ride you're going to do at the park. And to the number 6 spot, I'm going to be giving it to Comet, another wooden roller coaster. Now, this one's definitely a lot better than Wildcat. It's actually fairly smooth because it's not that bad. It's a little rough, but it's pretty smooth. It's actually pretty smooth. And it's opened over like 60 years ago. I'm not exactly sure the date it was opened, but it was opened over like 60 years ago, and it's running fairly smooth for how old it is. And it's a pretty fun ride if your kids aren't like super big thrill seekers yet. It's a very fun ride. It's not meant to be like super scary or anything, but it's definitely a fun ride. It's kind of like a normal wooden roller coaster, but it's still pretty fun. You get some decent airtime out of it, and it's pretty fun. And at number 5, I'm going to be giving it to Lightning Racer, another wooden roller coaster at HersheyPark. So this is a very, very fun ride. Probably one of the best wooden roller coasters out there. It's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth ride. One of the smoother wooden roller coasters. It's pretty long too. It's like 2 minutes and 20 seconds, which is a very long ride. And it's a lot of fun, and it's very thrilling, and it's also pretty intense because, you're getting some pretty good airtime, and you're getting some decent speed out of it. And you're also racing another train, which is really cool, so you can race your friends. The restraints are really good, and the operations are also really good, too. They pretty much dispatch you in less than a minute, so it's a very fun ride. Definitely one of the best wooden roller coasters out there, so you should definitely ride it if you go to the park. And number 4 is going to be Skyrush, the park's hypercoaster. Now, this is the tallest and fastest roller coaster in the park, and it's actually a pretty fun ride. It's 75 miles an hour, I believe, and you're going pretty high. It's a very intense ride too. But the reason it's not getting a number 1 spot is because those restraints are really going to hurt your thighs, especially if you're a bigger person. They kind of hurt mine too, especially if you're sitting on one of the end seats. If you're in the middle seats, it's not as bad, but still, it kind of hurts though. But the ride is pretty smooth though, so it's still a very fun ride. I would definitely recommend going on it. It's a very fun ride though. And number 3 is Great Bear, a very smooth inverted coaster. This one has 4 inversions, which all are phenomenal, and it's just a very fun ride. Okay, it's not compact like most of them. It actually has got a lot of scenery around it. It goes over a lake, It goes all around the place. It's not like Batman the ride. It's a very open ride. It's not like compact at all. It goes kind of all around the park, and it's extremely smooth, and it's got like decent speed as well. And it's just a really fun ride. Definitely one of the best in the park. And yeah, there's really not much to complain about with this ride. And number 2 was going to Fahrenheit. Now this roller coaster is just amazing. Honestly, it's just amazing. It goes straight up 90-degree lift hill, and it goes 100 degrees down, which means you're going under. So honestly, it's just an amazing roller coaster. It's smooth. It's really fun. It's got a lot of inversions, many inversions actually. It has the most inversions in the park for a roller coaster, and it's just a really fun ride. It's not that long, but it's not that intense either. But it's just really fun. Something that I would not mind riding over and over again. And yeah, it's definitely a very, very good roller coaster. It's compact, and it's a really nice ride. Honestly, you should really ride if you go to the park. And the number 1 spot is going to Storm Runner, the park's intimate launch coaster. Now this ride is honestly just awesome. It has a phenomenal launch, very smooth. There's not one little jerk at all, and the rest of the ride is also very smooth. And it's very fast, it's very intense, it's got an awesome drop, and it has a double twist and a gigantic loop. Honestly, just an awesome ride. Probably one of the best launch coasters because of how smooth it is. Also, one of the smoothest launch coasters out there, and honestly, one of my favorites too.